Hello everybody, it is Friday the 26th of January around 11 a.m. and I'm starting this vlog today not because I'm too far back on my TBR like I usually am, but because I need a bit of an emotional support. I'm currently reading 2 books. By the way, if I move weirdly, it's because I have a flare-up in the neck/back area. I have a nerve there that's very easily irritated, and whenever there's slight inflammation in the muscle, it rubs against it, and if I don't tread carefully, I can basically block my entire back. Anyways, so I am currently reading Ruin by John Gwynne, which is basically the reason why I'm starting this vlog. I am at the last 20%. And things are about to hit the fan. There's no way this book ends nicely because it's book number 3 from a quartet. So while the next one will feature a lot of drama and resolution, this one will probably be mostly just drama. And I know that something terrible is about to happen. I can feel it. You know, things are going too well, let's put it that way. And we're about to enter into a meeting. I mean, the people in this book, some of them are about to enter into a meeting. And I'm worried that not all of them are gonna get out alive from that meeting. I needed the emotional support, which is why I'm starting this vlog. And I know that this is a bit of an artificial way of getting support because you can't really talk to me. But whenever I'm speaking to the camera and I'm reading this for a vlog, I feel like I'm not doing it alone, and that makes it feel a lot better to get through difficult things. We already got through some difficult things here. I did a bit of crying. It was great. The book is awesome. John Gwynne has this way of writing that makes you love the protagonists, but also makes you really hate the villains while at the same time kind of understand them. You know, I think that's one of the better qualities of John Gwynne's writing, that he really manages to make real villains seem real, like real people. You can, I mean, maybe not always empathize with them, but you can see where they're coming from. And while you still think that they're in the wrong, you can understand their reasons for doing what they do. And also a lot of the people who are on the side of the bad in these books just happen to land there. I mean, some of them are real pieces of work, but others are just, you know, this is how the chips fell, and they're trying to be honorable still. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that's very good about these books is that he manages to make me care about all of the POVs. We follow about 10 POVs, I think, in this book. I haven't counted them, but that's my feeling. And I care about every single one. There's not a POV that would come and I'd be like, I don't care. I want to go back to this and this person. And the good thing is that we even get POVs from the villains. So, I mean, I don't know if you can call them villains. Well, some of them are villains, but other are just on the side of the bad. I want to know what happens to every single one, and yeah, it's really, really cool. But even if none of that was the case, I would still read 5 more books of this size just to see Lycos die. Lycos, I don't know. I call him Lycos, but it's written with Y, so I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Either way, I would love to see him bite it. Out of all of the villains, like there are so many bad ones, you know, they're bigger bad than him. He is the one that I hate the most. Viscerally hate. I want him to suffer. Anyway, and then the other book I'm reading is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and I'm having such a good time. I've heard great things about this book, but I didn't know what to expect from it necessarily because I hadn't read the synopsis. And it's all about an archipelago, basically. Is that how you pronounce that word? It's just a bunch of islands. And this is the empire, and some of those islands float, if not all of them. And this empire has an emperor who has bone shard magic. The imperial family has bone shard magic. This is such a cool magic system. Every person donates a shard of bone from behind their ear, and the royal family keeps it and stores it. And then one day they can use it to power a construct. A construct is kind of like a Frankenstein-y type of thing where different parts of animals are put together and then a bone shard is being inserted, and then you can give this construct certain commands and then they will obey them and follow them. There are different types of construct. It's really, really cool. I really, really loved it. But the downside of the bone shard magic is that whenever a shard is being used to power a construct, the person whose shard they're using develops shard sickness. So basically they start feeling weak, they start fading basically, and they die eventually much earlier than they were supposed to. So this is really, really cool. And then there are these ancient people who used to live on these islands, and the emperor is supposed to defend his people from their return because they are set to return one day. We follow multiple different characters, one of which is the daughter of the emperor, Lin, who also has bone shard magic, but she has lost all of her memories and now she's trying to regain them, because if she doesn't, her father is not going to pass the empire on to her and he's going to select another heir, namely, what's his name? Bayan, who the emperor has adopted, and he's going to make his heir if Lin can get her memories back. So she's trying to figure out how to do that. And besides that, we follow a bunch of other characters that are also very, very interesting, and I like all of them except one, I gotta be honest, and that is Ranami. And I'm about 35 to 40% into the book, and I'm gonna make two guesses right now. And if you don't want to be spoiled, and mind you, this is probably not a spoiler because I'm just guessing here, I have no proof that any of those things is true, and if you haven't read the book you will have no context for this, but I'm gonna make two guesses. I'm gonna guess that Sand is actually Jovis's wife, and that is pretty easy to guess, I will say, because the way that their stories are being told, it kind of, there's parallel between the two, and the boat with the blue sail, I'm guessing that that's the case. And the other guess I'm gonna make right now is that Bayan is actually a construct. This is a very wild guess. I have absolutely no proof of that, and if it's not, it should be. I would have written it that way. I hope I'm correct, because that would be really, really cool. And I wouldn't be mad for guessing it because, again, there's pretty much no clues for that. But I think this would just be a really, really cool twist. So these are the two books that I'm currently reading, and I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to finish them by the end of the weekend. Now, I have two other books, shall we call them, on my TBR for January, and I'm a little worried about one of them. An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington. This is the second book in the Lycanius trilogy, and it is 723 pages long, and I haven't started it yet because I'm a little worried that I won't be remembering the first book fully enough, because it's been a while and it was so dense, so many things happened. So I am gonna start reading it, and if I find myself lost, I'm gonna go back and reread book one, The Shadow of What Was Lost. It's gonna be a weekend of reading because I can't do much more with this neck. I'm trying to stay as still as possible. That's the only way to fix this. There's no massages, no nothing. You shouldn't touch that thing. I put a little bit of cooling cream every now and then, but then the best thing I can do is find a comfortable position and immobilize myself entirely. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna read a little bit, maybe from The Bone Shard Daughter, because I kind of feel like it now that I summarized the synopsis somewhat to you. So I read a little bit from The Bone Shard Daughter, and the situation is getting very interesting, and I'm changing my prediction a little bit. One of them, that Bayan was a construct. Now I'm wondering whether Lin is a construct herself, because she seems to have these memories that don't really belong to her. So I'm wondering whether she's the... whatever. One of these people is a construct. There is a human construct somewhere there. I am willing to bet money on it. I am super excited to continue with the story. It's very interesting. I'm getting really, really frustrated with Ranami, because she claims to love Falu, but she knows that she doesn't want the same thing as Falu, and she continues to lead her on because she wants her help. She's using her loved one. It is beyond contempt, I swear to God. No matter how just your cause is, this type of manipulation is absolutely terrible. I can't like her. I kind of hate her right now. I hope she redeems herself later. And beyond that, I think I'm most excited right now for Lin and Jovis's chapters, but Sand's chapters are also super, super exciting. And yeah, I'm having such a good time. I have so many theories about the Alanga and all of that. It's lovely. I can't wait to continue reading it. I am at about 55 to 60% right now. But I stopped a little bit because I started reading again Ruin, and I read 5% more. So I'm at 85% right now, and things already happened. Oh my God. The revelation is finally here. Varatis finally knows the truth, and I am so happy and relieved that he does. But now I'm worried he's going to do something stupid, and that is terrible too. And yet things are really approaching the climax, and I'm so worried how this is going to end, but it's also so good. I can't stop reading. I also can't move much, so I'm going to continue sitting here and reading and enjoying this gloomy day.
What is going on here? Let me help you. Stay, Jesus. Oh my God. How did you do that? Oh my God.
All right, I think this should work. So it's the next day, the 27th of January, Saturday, and it's about 11 a.m. again. I started waking up very late for some reason. I go to bed very late. That's the reason. Anyway, that's not important. Last night I finished, what's going on here? Last night I finished Ruin by John Gwen, and it ruined me. I wasn't ready. So many things happened at the end. There was a twist that I didn't necessarily predict, but I suspected it will happen because one of the characters was acting a little weird, kind of against their nature, but I did not suspect what it was gonna be exactly. And oh my God, it was good. It was good. I'm telling you. Now, I didn't like, that this is happening to our characters, but I did like the twist because it made the story even more layered. And then on top of that, the final chapter, oh God, I am so worried, okay? Like, I'm worried enough to want to open the next book and look through it until I figure out what happened to one particular character, because the book ended with uncertainty, suggested that they might have died. And if that's the case, I'm gonna cry like a baby. I'm not gonna be okay, I promise you. So this is a little frustrating, but as I mentioned yesterday, I already expected the big trauma at the end, but a lot of satisfying things happened as well. So I am so excited about the next book. I kind of want to read it right now, to be honest with you. And if I didn't have 2 other books on my TBR, one of which gigantic, I probably would have done it. Anyway, that was a great reading experience. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. Next, though, my shoulder is still not very good. Neck, rather, not shoulder. So, next thing, we're gonna continue reading The Bone Shard Daughter. I haven't read since I updated you yesterday about reaching the around 60% mark, but I'm planning on hopefully finishing it today. I'm not sure if I can do it, but it's only 200 pages, so it shouldn't be impossible. I'm gonna drink my coffee now and do a little bit of reading and maybe answer some of the YouTube comments, because yesterday I posted the video for 11 Cycle review, and some people have commented already, so I would like to respond to them. And then I'm gonna have to think about the next video. I'm gonna film my wrap up and then TBR game for next month, because I'm gonna be traveling very likely in the beginning of February, so I won't be able to film those. But in order to film my TBR, I want to have my wrap-up film first. It's always how I do it. But in order to do that, I would like to at least have started the last 2 books on my TBR. Tomorrow, I'm gonna try to start The Shadow of What Was Lost reread. Anyway, this is the plan for the day. Let's see if we can achieve things. Okay, it is now 4:30 p.m. and I finished The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and I'm gonna give it 5 stars. This book is so good. Oh my God, it was so much more twisted and dark than I initially anticipated, but I loved it. I love the twists. I was right about some things. I wasn't right about other things. I am so happy that I read it. It was so interesting. There are so many more interesting things coming. I can't wait to read more of this series. You know, I've heard great things about it, but I didn't expect to like it so much because I seem to often find myself in a situation where I don't like as much books that are overhyped by a lot of people, but this one definitely deserves the praises. And what really surprised me is that only in like less than 500 pages, the author has managed to weave so much layering. There are so many layers to this story. I can't even begin to explain, and not just to the story, but to the characters, to their conviction. They're not just flat good and bad, or good pretending to be bad, or bad pretending to be good. There's so much more to them than what initially meets the eye, and I am so happy I read this book. Definitely, as I mentioned, I'm gonna give it 5 stars, and I'm gonna look forward to continuing with this series. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and have some food probably, and then figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day, but I'll probably start rereading The Shadow of What Was Lost.